we talk a lot about the difference between output and outcomes because there is a difference, right? So the process gives you an output, right? But is it the right outcome, right, to be applied to a given situation, right? And so this is true for generative AI, but it's also true for AI in general, right? So at Mastercard, we've been using AI for cyber as well as fraud products and solutions. And so we actually look at all of the outputs, right? And yes, we look at all the kind of model and scientific outputs, but we really are focused on what is the outcome, because many, many times we're a B2B company, and many of our products and solutions are going to then be handed off to another organization for them to further apply. And so there could be further drift, further inaccuracies, further things introduced into the ecosystem. And so we need to understand what are the outcomes, right, that may or may not be reintroduced further into the ecosystem. And so understanding what are you trying to accomplish, which is kind of back to where Daniel began with this conversation, right? That's really important, right? To really understand what are you trying to achieve and how sensitive is it. The more sensitivity in the outcome, the greater the distance between output and outcome we believe is necessary. And the more the examination needs to happen between your output and your outcome, especially if it's going to be deeply personally sensitive to an individual, right? So is it going to impact their credit score? Is it going to make a decline for us on a card, right? Is it going to impact our screening or our partners in providing a secure network? All of those things for us, are high. But imagine this in a healthcare context, right? Medicine context, right? We want to make sure those outcomes, okay, purposely said, are really, really highly accurate and predictive. But I'm not sure that everybody's having that conversation, and I think that's a really super important point.
So I'm curious, the distance between outcome and output.
Output and outcome, yeah.
Output and outcome.
I know.
So I'm curious because the feedback loop that we're looking for, is that a person, a subject matter expert?
It's a series of people, right? It's not just, I talk about AI as a team sport because I think there's a series of people that have to look at that output and then it has to be fed back depending upon what we've discovered. It may go all the way back to the quality of the data that we're using, right? It may go back to the models, it may go back to A/B testing, it may go back to bias, it may go back to legitimate drift or inaccurate drift. Like there's a million different places in our kind of governance cycle that we may go back and adjust and then look at a different set of outputs to outcomes.